Hi everyone, welcome to my IG here. I am going live tonight and I have a special guest for the Stark Effect. My special guest will be Brenda Villanueva. She is a dear friend of mine and I'm super excited. So this is something a little bit different. My show is called The Stark Effect. It's a podcast where I talk about various type of things, mainly entertainment, news, trending topics, but there are threads of like bigger issues in there, right? Like I recently posted a YouTube video for the podcast about Breonna Taylor's murderer who received a 33-month sentencing. His name is Brett Hankinson. He was the officer who killed Breonna Taylor, murdered her. So I did a video about that. I did a video about William McNeil Jr. He was the black man who was pulled over. It's a viral video of him being pulled over and beaten out of his car in Jacksonville. So I do touch on like newsy topics too. I'm not just a celebrity gossip tea page. You know, my podcast is not me exposing people, right? So I do cover hot topics and I'm having fun, and it has like a little fun sense of mess, but it's not like a messy based show. Like that's my goal, is to not expose. So anyways, tonight we're gonna have a different little spin here. We're gonna be talking about the ICE raids here in Los Angeles and how it impacts immigrants, Latinx people, Latina people, black immigrants, and so forth, and how they are also a part of the conversation. I have a special guest. Her name is Brenda. And yeah, Brenda is a good friend of mine and I'm excited to have her join. She'll be jumping on in 2 more minutes. So I'm looking at the video and I'm also looking at the camera. So if my eyes look weird, just know we looking at the camera. But I'm super excited for this tonight and I hope you all enjoy this conversation. If you like the podcast, please share. Here, let me put a note here. Here, I'm putting a note in the comments. Yeah, so I'm gonna put this here and hopefully I could just get a few people to watch, even if y'all don't stay the whole time. I hope you watch the playback. Sorry, I had to put a note in the comments to, urge people to go subscribe to my YouTube channel. And just to let you all know, I'm on the road to 500 subscribers on YouTube. So I'm super excited about that. I hope that I can get to 500 subscribers, hopefully within the next 6 months. That's like my goal. If I could just get to 500 by the end of the year, I will be content with that. Cause it's a lot building, right? And I've realized okay, if I'm gonna grow with my little baby platform here, I'm gonna have to like really put in more work. It doesn't matter how long I've been podcasting, girl, we still gotta put in that work. Okay, so anyways, if you like my content and if you feel connected to it, please subscribe. If you don't feel connected to it, I totally understand that, and that is okay with me. Before Brenda jumps on, I'm gonna mute my phone. Hold on 1 second. Okay, sorry about that, you all. I just wanted to make sure that my phone was in DND because I might get a phone call or something. But yeah, tonight we're going to talk about the ICE raids, its impact on Latinx people, Latino people in the community. Brenda is a policy leader. She is an LGBTQ activist. She is really known here in LA for her work directly with the LGBTQ community. I used to work with Brenda back in the day. A few years ago, we used to work at the center together. For the policy department together. So she's someone who I feel like I really admire her and I respect everything that she does. We've done policy work together. We went to the Leather Day of Advocacy where we were advocating for certain assembly bills and Senate bills, legislation that focus on free HIV, STI care here in California. Domestic violence services, funding for that. So we advocated for a lot of things. I don't remember all of the bills at the top of my head, but we advocated for about 6 or 7 of them. And this was back in 2022. So Brenda has just joined, y'all. I really hope y'all enjoy the conversation. Now, my eyes look crazy because I'm wearing eyelashes. Okay, and the lashes are hitting the glasses. So Brenda's here. I'm gonna let her join now. Oh. Join, Brenda. I just accepted it. Here, let me try one more time. I just accept. Oh, okay, perfect. Can you see me?
Yes, I can. Hey, boo.
Yes. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Here, let me put these comments down because it's like covering your eyes. Huh. Okay. Maybe my brightness is low. Do you have good lighting in your room? It looks a little dim. You in front of
Here, let
the
me. Is that better?
That's a lot better. Yes, yes, yes. Well, I don't want the sun in your eyes. Do you have like a light that you could sit in front of? I don't want the sun to block your
It's
eyes.
not that great actually, but
Okay,
it's fine.
you could close it. No, because I don't want it to. I don't want it to mess up your eyes. Go ahead and close that thing, girl. We chilling, okay? Yes, but thank you for like doing this for me. I know I did want to do this last weekend, and I was at the beach, child. It was a mess, so I hit you up the day before, and I was like, "Hey, can we reschedule?" So I just want to say thank you for being so graceful with me because I was cooking today, and I hope I'm not sending the impression of like, "Girl, she doing too much. She too busy. She all over the place." If
Not
I
at all.
am, I apologize. Okay. But I do appreciate your time and I'm excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here. So,
So Brenda, I was just talking because I we don't have people watching right now, but I do have people who watch my playbacks. So
yeah.
I was telling people a little bit about you, the work that you do, how you and I met. We used to work together at the center, and we have become
hmm
friends over the years. Even when we worked together, we were friends. So, in your own words, can you just give like a short bio about yourself and the work that you do and what it means to you as a policy leader here in Los Angeles?
Yeah, of course. I'll keep it short and sweet. Um,
Yes. Shout out to Sabrina
but
Carpenter.
but yeah, I've pretty much been in policy advocacy for 11 years now. I started but focusing more than anything like on substance use prevention and like harm reduction, and then just pretty much build my way up into overall health policy.
Hmm.
And then at the center it was health policy, but in regards to queer folks.
Hmm.
But I've been pretty much civically engaged and involved in the community when it comes to queer issues, health, and immigration policy.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's been a little over a decade, and your girl is still pressing on. Like all these issues continue to happen, and I think now I'm in a transition where I'm trying to see what the next, I guess, step could be, and what policy can look like for me as far as like advocacy, or I've even considered the lobbying side of things. Obviously, on the good side, not the bad side. I want to be clear on
Hmm.
that.
Hmm.
but yeah, just it's been an interesting 11 years, just meeting with folks at the local, county, state, and federal level, because that's pretty much been the bulk of policy work that I've done, is all around health policy, informing organizations on taking a stance or opposing egregious legislation, but it's all been around legislative and excuse me, budgetary issues
Hmm.
in regards to health policy. So yeah, it's been a run. It doesn't feel like 11 years, but it's been quite some time.
Wow. You have been doing this work for a really, really long time, and you said that it doesn't feel like 11 years, right? So I can
Mhm.
only imagine how much you've seen happen with the experience that
Mhm.
you have, just like seeing how much has happened, how drastically things have changed, even in this current climate, right? With the current
Mhm.
regime that we're under, and how literally it feels like every single community is under attack. So with that being said, my first question to you. The ice raids began on June 6th.
Mhm.
We were together. We weren't, wait, were we together that Friday? No, we weren't together that Friday.
It
Or
was a
we did
Saturday.
yeah, we were together the Saturday after.
Yeah.
And I know that we had a brunch and
Mhm.
it
Mhm.
literally broke out, right? We were,
Mhm.
I don't know if you feel comfortable saying where we were, but we were in LA and we were
Yeah.
super close. We were super
Yeah.
close to the breakout of the protests. And what I want to know is that this started off as peaceful protests. A lot of media kept saying, with the current regime and all that, and Trump and all that, they kept saying, "Oh my God, there's a lot of chaos in LA. We have to
Mhm.
come in and we got to send the troops. They are just being unruly, and we got to put them in order." That was a lot of the
Mhm.
messaging coming out, but that wasn't the case.
No, not at all. I
Can
actually had gone to the protest. I think the day before we all hung out with Jessica and everything
yes.
too.
We,
And I went. I got there a little bit later actually, and by the time I got there, it was already a standoff.
you
And
talking
mind
about the day
you,
that we were together or the day before?
the day before.
Oh wow,
Because I
okay.
think I do remember telling you all that I had gone to the protest.
Hmm.
And then I think I went the Sunday after too, because I had stayed the weekend at my brother's apartment.
Hmm.
And yeah, like on those instances, on both of those instances, like I saw how it was LAPD instigating.
Hmm.
Like the people were just protesting, and it was just them wanting to disperse people, and they started, with the um what is it, the little like the tear gas, but they were like shooting like this. I don't remember what they're called, but they were kind of like shooting at people, and they came with the
Are they the
horses.
rubber bullets? The rubber
Yeah, the
bullets?
rubber bullets, and then they
Yeah.
kind of had a line with the horses, and
Hmm.
it just looked like a whole ass standoff. But people, like, if you looked at the people, they didn't have weapons, they didn't have anything. All they had were like the posters, and they picked up different things to protect themselves.
Hmm. Hmm.
I remember when I was just recording, actually, because I mean, they were even shooting at journalists
Right.
and folks that were just on the, you would think like we're not even here for the protest, like we're just recording. And I remember that they actually shot at me, but thankfully it didn't hit me directly. It like hit something else and it ricocheted and it hit me. And I
Hmm.
was like, this is getting out of hand. And I was glad to be able to actually record and have proof that folks are being peaceful. But yeah,
Right.
obviously as they started getting more violent, well, people were responding back and matching that energy,
And
But
I remember when we started to cut you off when we were together that day. I felt weird because I'm like, we over here cooking and it's a whole protest.
yeah,
But I felt like in this weird space because a part of me I wanted to go, and we even
hmm
talked about that. I was like, okay, I know I want to go, but I'm a reporter, and I'm kind of like, should I report on this or should I go for personal reasons? And then we talked because I was kind of like, okay, what if I get locked up, girl? I ain't got no bail
hmm
money. Okay, so I do
hmm
believe in the cause, right? But I just felt conflicted, full transparency. I was kind of
hmm
like, okay, this is something I do care about. I'm not like, cause there was a lot on social media with black people, right? Calling
hmm
out Latino people, and basically not all black people were saying these things, but there was a wave of black people who were like, oh, we're gonna sit this one out, and being really like dismissive, so I remember like seeing that and I was like, oh, I hope she don't feel like I'm like, because I
yeah,
was like, I hope that she don't feel like that's the energy I'm on. I'm just trying to
yeah,
figure out how I'm gonna show up and what can I
hmm
do, right? So I believe I took you to the Saturday one, and I was kind of like, if
yeah,
you need me to come and get you, I will get you. I'm gonna report on this, and I did report on it that week. Like
hmm
I made it our cover story for our paper at our weekly. You know what I mean? So I was just like, okay, well, I can amplify the facts. You
hmm
get me? And I could do it this particular way.
yeah,
But I was kind of sitting with this thing of like, okay, do I protest? Because journalists, they say that journalists are not supposed, that's what they teach us. Like, you cannot
hmm
protest, right? So
hmm
it's one of those things where I'm kind of like, okay, but this is something I believe in. So what do I do? Do I just like be
hmm
quiet about it, or do I amplify it with what I can do? You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I just wanted to say that to you because I was like, I hope she not like, see, she one of them. She not really down.
You
You know what I
know,
mean?
I did see a lot of solidarity from the black community too.
Hmm.
I think unfortunately that's just something that, happens sometimes. Like when Black Lives Mattered, there was also brown people kind of like saying, oh, well, why should we,
Like this isn't our
protest?
fight.
Yeah, and it's like, I feel like we've always been the strongest when we realize that we have a common struggle. Like we're
Hmm.
all oppressed by the same thing, which is white supremacy and
Hmm.
capitalism, and like, all these different things that impact our communities in different ways, but also in similar ways. And so,
Hmm.
because it all comes down to exploitation. If you think about folks that are incarcerated, the majority are black and brown folks,
Right.
so there is a common, shared struggle. And I could see that there is solidarity in some ways, but unfortunately some people sometimes, we can't vouch for everyone.
Right.
But some people might not see it that way because they're either impacted directly by something that happened,
Hmm.
with the other person or whatever, with the other race. And so now they want to like put everybody under that umbrella. You
And
know,
what's
not
interesting,
realizing.
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, just saying like not realizing that it's really all the other stuff that leads us to kind of like pin ourselves against
Against
each
each
other.
other.
Like they pit us against each other when it shouldn't be that way, you know?
What's interesting about it is for me, like, I was sitting, like, when I was seeing Black people be so vocal and, like, really disrespectful and, like, making fun of Latino people, I was sitting in a place because I was seeing Latino people. Some were like, oh no, we gonna call y'all out, right? And
Mhm.
I was like, call us out, you know? And it
Mhm.
was, it was interesting being a Black person sitting in that and
Mhm.
having to be like, no, this is not cool. Like, this is out of
Mhm.
line and I don't agree. Like, I literally had arguments with people who, like my chosen family, who were
Mhm.
older Black people who were saying things. And I just was
Mhm.
like, why are you saying, like, I was like trying to really understand them. And I'm like, okay, but at the end of the day, do you know that out of anybody who should be understanding, it should be us. Like, they're
Yeah.
gonna come for us next, girl. Like, I was like, don't
Yeah.
you get too comfortable. I literally told one of my family members that, and she probably gonna watch this and be like, girl, don't be talking about me on your show. But but I told her
Mhm.
that. We were on the phone and we had like an argument, and I was all like, you know, I do feel like some Black people, some of us have gotten comfortable and we think that
Yeah.
we are just untouchable, and that's not the case. So let's not forget. You know, we
Yeah.
cannot sit here and forget anything,
And
right?
I do
So
want to also
I get
point.
that we're hurt, but we shouldn't
Mhm.
use our hurt to capitalize on a moment when there's another community literally being attacked, and there's Black immigrants as well. You
Yeah,
get
I
what
was
I'm
gonna
saying?
say I wanted to point out
Like,
the fact
it's
that
all meshed. I'm sorry, go ahead.
yeah, the ones that were also being targeted were Haitians, and actually, I think up to this point, like the majority of folks that were pretty much getting raided were Haitians. If I'm not mistaken, I think that there was a statistic that showed that most of the ones that were in detentions, the majority were black, actually. So it
Hmm.
is a black and brown issue. I mean, they also started coming for Asians. So it's
Hmm.
not, you know, we were like here in LA, we were just seeing mostly brown folks because that's pretty much the majority here. But that doesn't necessarily mean that other you know, folks, other races weren't impacted. We're also seeing it with Iranian folks and Arab
Hmm.
folks, you know, especially
Hmm.
with the tensions that are going on in Palestine and stuff. So it really
Yeah.
did impact a lot of people. So it's not just a one race issue. It's at the bottom line of it, it's white supremacy,
Right.
and you know them wanting to, you know, make America white again. That's
What
really
what's
what they're trying to say.
Literally, and they are explicitly saying that. And what's
Yeah.
interesting about it is that they're using Latino brown people as the
Mhm.
face
Mhm.
of what an immigrant means, right? They're using that in their messaging. They're using, oh, we're gonna increase, you know, build the wall, or we're gonna put more funding, you know, with this whole big beautiful bill stuff. We're gonna
Mhm.
put more money into national defense. We're gonna protect ourselves. It's always painting, you know, white
Mhm.
Americans as being victims of people of color as a whole, and
Yeah.
using certain people, using Latino, Latinx people, using Haitian people, using trans people. It's all these
Mhm.
key people, key marginalized communities that are being used as an other. And I haven't even gotten to my first question yet, child. So let me get into my first question here. Sorry, I just wanted to like open us up here. Okay, so my first question to you, Brenda. And before we begin, do you have any questions for me? How you feeling?
No, I'm feeling good. Like
Okay.
let's dive into it. You know,
Let's
let's.
do it. Okay, now y'all know I'm blind. Okay, y'all. So when y'all watch this playback, I can't see. I got eyelashes on and I got a lazy eye. Okay, so I'm a mess. But yeah, but no. Look, we're doing it, y'all. If y'all are enjoying it, I really want y'all to go to my YouTube channel. This is on IG Live, right? But go to YouTube, subscribe to the channel if you like this live. I'm gonna figure out how to get this live to the YouTube. Like, comment, and share. Okay, so let's get into our first question for Brenda here. So, Brenda, you've been at the forefront of policy work that has created real change for the LGBTQ community. How have the recent ICE raids in Los Angeles shaped your sense of urgency around immigration protections, especially for queer and trans individuals who often face compounded vulnerabilities?
Oh, that's a loaded one. But to be honest, I think even though at the center most of my policy was around health for queer folks, um, I on the side started really looking into resources and stuff for immigration, and then I started kind of feeding that to the team. Um, because yeah, like we had queer folks, particularly trans folks, that were double, triple, oftentimes quadruple, um, more in trouble because they're a person of color, they're queer, and they're an immigrant. And
Mhm.
there's all this there. And some folks were also facing housing insecurity, food insecurity on top
Yeah.
of all of that.
Mhm.
And then they were actually having their existence under certain executive orders questioned or trying to be erased. So like the mental health issues that were going on with the community, and I was like, we have to really do something about it. And I really spent a lot of time like sharing resources on my own page, working with the team to see what we can provide. We actually started doing like lunch and learns with the staff, and also providing clinics for the community, particularly with the seniors and the youth that were in the at the center. And
Mhm.
I have to give a shout out to both Danny and Jessica for those particular clinics, because they were working with the clients that they've particularly advocated for. But yeah, like we started really sharing a lot of resources. We basically talked to senior management like we need to really provide like ways that folks can protest safely, ways that folks can seek legal counsel, because I mean, even at the center, the legal team, there was just two of them, and they were trying to speed up all the asylum cases because they knew that they basically were on a countdown, basically. And they knew that they kind of had Trump's orders against some of the work that they were doing, but thankfully they were still being able to successfully get folks, the asylum, cases passed, and get their documentation. But yeah, like, I mean, we saw the fact that people were, and I think this got compounded with the fact that people were actually showing up to their court cases and were trying to do things legally, and yet they were still being,
Determined.
arrested and
Mhm.
detained on site.
Mhm.
So that
Right there in
really,
downtown LA, they would go to the immigration
yeah.
appointment
So, and,
and
and
they
it
would
really,
wait for them outside and just take them.
mm-hmm. They
Hmm.
would basically dismiss the case. Like they were thinking that they were having an appointment. By the time they got met the judge would just dismiss it.
So
And
it was
a
a
lot of
setup.
those, yeah, and those judges, pretty much a lot of them were either bought out or they were following directives by the Department of Justice or Homeland Security, which really sucks because they couldn't really say, oh, they're not following it the legal way, because they were
Hmm.
showing up, they were doing their appointments. And the fact that a lot of these folks were parents who their kids were still in school,
Hmm.
the audacity to show up at graduations,
That was
the
crazy.
audacity to show up in, like, hospitals, churches, like,
Hmm.
they were just terrorizing folks. And it really it became that way because the power of community. At first they were trying to go to people's houses. Once we were able to educate folks about their rights and we passed out those red cards and stuff, they knew
Hmm.
that they couldn't invade people's homes. They
Hmm.
knew that the warrants were basically a dud. And
Hmm.
so what did they start to do? Try to get them at work, try to get them at, when they were dropping off their children, try to get them in their court cases.
Because Homeland Security, they were creating these fake warrants, and the
Hmm.
difference with that warrant is that the warrant that's fake, it has the Department of Homeland Security. It's not a warrant issued by an actual
Judge, yeah.
judge. Right,
Hmm.
right, 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 right. So they would use that, go to individuals' homes who they thought were
Hmm.
immigrants or whatever, and basically they knew that they didn't know
Hmm.
their rights, right? And they would just
Yeah.
give in or, open up the door or whatever, and they would intimidate them and take them.
Hmm. And
And you
so we
can
did
correct
a
me if
lot
I
of
say anything out
education.
of line. Feel free to correct me, but like that's not
No,
what
no, no,
happened.
and you're
Oh,
you're right.
yes.
You're right. That's really how it went down. And since we, like, the community got together, we started educating folks. We started passing resources. You know.
How did you do? Because by the way, I hope in this interview in this podcast, I don't want you to
Hmm.
feel like you have to represent the center.
Hmm.
That's not why I brought you on the show, right? Although
Yeah.
you're talking about your work that you've done there.
Yeah. I
What did
just
you
want to
do?
say. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, the reason I bring it up because, like, up to that,
It's a
like, at the
part of
beginning of this, I was trying to do things through the center.
Right, 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 right.
Hmm.
I wanna ask you, what things have you done outside of the center, just in your day-to-day life, to navigate this, right? Because
Hmm.
not only are queer people, trans people, and I asked that in the first question, are affected, but Latino, Latinx elders, right? People who are
Mhm.
people's parents, grandparents are afraid. Like one of my friends, she was just like, my grandma is terrified. Like
Mhm.
she afraid to go outside right now. My cousin, like they don't want to go to work right now because they feel like they're gonna be set up.
Mhm.
So my question to you is, what how or what are you doing in day-to-day life to help navigate this, or are you just like preserving to protect your mental health, or like how are you navigating life outside of the center with still surviving and thriving in the midst of these ice raids that are still taking place, because we're about 60 days in. I believe it was day 49 on the 24th, so we're
Mhm.
about 50, 53, 52 days in, and it's
Mhm.
still not over. So that was a long question, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think for me, it's just staying resistant. Like,
Mhm,
yes, it's tiring. Yes, there's a lot of mental health because I mean, it's my community. It's our uncles, our grandparents, our neighbors that are getting like we've witnessed it. Like, I have a friend who her dad was taken.
mm,
We've had folks. I have like in my church. I want to say a quarter of our church is undocumented folks.
mhm,
And they're afraid to show up to service because now they know that churches are no longer a safe ground.
mhm.
I mean, even down the street from me, there's a church that would come and drop off groceries and tell people like
Mhm.
come through, pick them up. They raided that and they took
By the
like
way,
two
do
people.
you feel comfortable sharing this publicly? Because I will put this on
Yeah,
social
yeah,
media.
no,
You're
yeah,
okay? Okay.
yeah, I'm
We're not
okay.
going to say which church and which neighborhood and
Yeah, yeah,
all.
no, no, no. But they actually, they came and raided the spot because they knew people were gonna come and get resources.
Uh,
Because their mentality is like, oh well, if they're needing the resources, then they're probably undocumented. Which that's another thing. Statistically, it's been proven that the folks that take the most welfare are actually white people in the South. Y'all can fight me, y'all can say whatever, but like that's statistically the truth
well,
because
that's the truth.
most
Yeah.
immigrants will not apply for welfare because one, they don't qualify. Two,
Hmm.
they're not gonna risk being found out or whatever just
Right.
just for free benefits. Like most of them work and make ends meet one way or another.
Right.
But yeah, like I think for me, just being able to check up on those church members, calling them personally, how I can help, providing resources. Um, there was like a special, like I don't remember the agency right now off the top of my head, but they were making, I think it was Barrio Drive. They had made more like of those red cards, but also other like flyers and things for folks to be, organized, but also to be informed about their rights.
It was
And they
called
had done it
Barrio.
bilingually. Barrio Drive. Um, and I could like share this. I could share slides with you to share with your folks on your page
Please,
later.
yes, please do.
Yeah.
If you want to send me something later and I could
Yeah.
add it to this video and just, post it in the off
Hmm.
CapCut child, we could add it at the end or something. Because
Yeah, yeah,
I know
for
LA
sure.
Taco has a lot of
Yeah,
great
LA Taco,
resources.
honestly, big ups
They've
to
had the
them
best
because
coverage of all this, in my opinion. I
yeah,
think
but
they've
you
had
got
the
to keep
best
in mind, there's
coverage.
just they're a foodie blog, and the fact that they took this struggle and they're like, this is our community, like we can put that
Hmm.
to the side for now to just inform people, because like a lot of the things that people don't realize is that a lot of us chose to, either close our shops, um, take days off of work to help vendors, to protect people.
Hmm.
So we're taking a pay cut, but we knew that the only way that we can resist this is like being there for one another. So
Right.
that's another thing that's like helped me. It's like wherever I can, I'm resourceful. If I could get groceries for someone, I would. I personally don't have a car right now, but I do have DoorDash or like different things that I would use to send them stuff. So
Right.
I think being able to be there for the community really helped me to keep my mental mind because I was like, this is going on. Like there's nothing I could do about it. This is going on. This is real. This is here. And I could
Mhm.
either cry about it, which I do allow myself to feel, because it is sad to see people being taken away. It's sad to see your own people um be brutalized. I mean, I'm sure it's the same way with the black community. Anytime you
Right.
see a new video of another black
It's
person being
triggering.
brutally, you know,
It's triggering.
hit or oftentimes sometimes even killed by
Hmm.
cops and for no reason,
It
and
sends
it's
a
the
certain
same.
message. It sends a
Yeah,
certain
and
message.
so it's the
Yeah.
same with us seeing our folks being manhandled, brutally beaten,
Mhm.
arrested, dehumanized by ICE. Like that's not easy to see. So I
Yeah.
think for us, like being able to resist as an advocate, giving myself the time to protest when I can,
Hmm.
show up for my community, whatever ways that I can, that's been empowering for me. And it's also helped me kind of like turn my grief into like um being able to channel it in positive ways where I can like turn that
Hmm.
grief into joy. Like not to be cheesy or corny, but like joy is resistance. And so
But
that's what I do.
sometimes those cheesy quotes have a lot
Hmm.
of meaning to it. Joy is
Hmm.
resistance. I hate to say it corny and cheesy. I don't want to call it that, but I'm saying those
Hmm.
positive quotes and mantras really
Hmm.
do help. I know people be like, "Oh, I don't want to do that. Da, 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 da. I don't want to see all that." Because I do think some people get discouraged. That's why I
Hmm.
like how you're answering and you're sharing about this because
Hmm.
a lot of people do get discouraged. A lot of people are like, "Well, what's the
Hmm.
point? I don't want to deal with this. This administration is going to continue to do what it wants to do anyway," and they feel defeated. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So thank you for like being vulnerable and talking about that.
Hmm.
Because you shared a lot, and you touched lightly on the protest and how you have protest. So I'm still gonna ask the question just to see if you felt like anything was unsetting your response.
Yeah.
So my next question to you is: we've seen growing protests across the city, since June 6th in response to the aggressive immigration enforcement ICE.
Hmm.
As someone rooted in activism and policy, you've done this work for 11 years. How do you see the role of public protest in creating lasting policy change? Because the reason I'm asking you that is because some people I've seen online, even on social media, some people are sort of like, should we continue to protest this? It's really going to do anything. You get what
Hmm.
I'm saying? So, just to reiterate and re ask the question, how do you see the role of public protest in creating lasting policy change, if you see that coming?
Yeah, the best analogy that I can put when it comes to protesting, I think so often we get caught up in like winning battles and not winning the actual war. And protesting is that like there's gonna be sometimes where we protest and we don't see the fruit of it, but in the long run you will, because continuing to resist, you're gonna call out. Like we see it right now with the whole Palestine issue. It's been 2 years, but people are finally starting to wake up,
Hmm.
and that's a global issue. But like even here, like I actually am very moved. I live on the west side of the valley, so it's West Hills and like Woodland Hills. There's mostly white folks
Hmm.
in this area, but I've been moved how consistently since the ice raids have been happening, they are there at the corner of Topanga and Victory protesting on our behalf. And that actually moves me
Hmm.
because it's like, they're saying, this is a white problem, white supremacy is an issue. We understand our privilege
And
and
they're
we're gonna
using
show
their
up. And
privilege.
they're using their privilege, but
Yeah.
it's not performative. Like they'll always like they'll have signs that say like you are welcome here. Like you
Hmm.
guys make our city great, like things like that. And they'll like if they see brown people, they'll say like this is our job. It
Yeah.
shouldn't be y'all, it should be us. And that's really touching. So like in some ways I'm moved by that and I see that, but also like not only are we changing minds, but I think in a lot of ways like sometimes you have to protest for yourself, because no matter how much you can always learn. And I feel because we are, oppressed in different ways and we have continued struggles. Just
Hmm.
because you're going through the struggle doesn't mean that you don't have to break biases yourself. Like, I think,
Hmm.
as you're learning and you're seeing the struggle, like, I think it really forces you to really see the ways in which we ourselves are complicit to some of these things,
Can
like,
I jump in a little bit with
yeah.
that? Because you really speaking right now. I want to say for me, this made me see the little privileges. I mean, I'm a black
Hmm.
trans girl, right? And I
Hmm.
was kind of like, well, do I have privilege? And I was like, well, you have education, you've had opportunities to help you
Hmm.
get where you are. So you might not have all the privileges in the world, but you're still able bodied, you're educated, you're able to
Hmm.
still help. You get what I mean? I
Hmm.
can't use me being black and trans as an excuse to not have this conversation, right? Like, this is the way
Hmm.
that I'm helping as well. I'm going to be like, you know what, let me go talk to someone who's directly through it so we
Hmm.
can come together and we can really have this, so that's how I think. So I'm like, okay, well, what can I do? Can I like publicize this with my little platform, like what
Mhm.
can I do? And that's why for me, I was like, okay, I work for a black paper. And by the way, this is not representing my job, right? I'm just
Mhm.
saying who I work for. I'm an
Mhm.
editor. I'm an editor. So I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I can fight for this and I could choose this, even if they feel uncomfortable. By the way, they didn't feel uncomfortable. But I brought it to the table and I was like, yo, I think we should cover this. This is happening now. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I get that we are a black paper, but there are black immigrants. We have Latino people who work with our paper as well, who are employed with us. You get me? So
Mhm.
I'm just like, we are in South LA. This is still a
Mhm.
community of both. You know what I mean? So I was like, let me jump on this and amplify it to help the truth come out. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Because
Yeah.
a mainstream media outlet won't always
Tell
they
the
won't
truth.
always tell the truth. They're
Mhm.
focused on telling both sides, and so are we. So are we. Like in my story, I still tell both
Mhm.
sides, right? But I still amplify it with using certain keywords, such as this started off as a peaceful protest, right?
Mhm.
I didn't use it was another term that they were using in the mainstream media about it. They were
Yeah,
saying
keep
it was
saying it was a
riots.
riot.
They
Yeah.
kept saying it was riots. I didn't use riots at all, right? So those
Mhm.
are ways where I'm like, okay, words mean things. This regime knows that words mean things. I mean, you see them over
Mhm.
here erasing, critical race theory and Chicano studies, and they're erasing all these things that give us the words and help us track our history, right? So
Mhm.
what I can do is I can not be complicit and understand what I
Mhm.
can do. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because even, this conversation, that's a side note, but it even makes me think about Palestine. Like,
Mhm.
I still have fears with um being vocal about that because the media, what they do is they will be like, they'll like shut you down, literally, or they won't want
Mhm.
to work with you if you try to choose a story that
Yeah.
amplify. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, my job is not doing that, by the way. I'm not speaking about my job. I'm
Yeah.
just saying in general, for journalists who work for the bigger dogs, they
Mhm.
don't let them talk about that.
Yeah,
You
no,
get me? And
100%.
they'll
They
be
don't.
like,
They
we'll
want to
fire you.
manipulate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have to say,
So,
another thing that I do want to add about the protest, resistance is not always pretty, and one of the things that really pissed me off is like, okay, so y'all are gonna get mad at the fact that people respond in violence to being mistreated when they came peaceful to begin with. Like, we're not gonna sit here and pretend that Malcolm X and Martin Luther King Jr. didn't use a bit of violence. Yes, they wanted to, lead with love, but sometimes
mhm,
it took some grit because
mhm,
you cannot just like sit it out all the time or be, yes, we're going to be peaceful. It started that way, but they
mhm.
poked it. And, I hate to say that's a girl that's been born and raised in LA. Like, LA, LA don't play,
You
okay?
said we
Like,
gonna take it to the
literally
streets, girl.
it's always been in the streets. You look at the
Yeah.
movements from like way back in the 40s to the 50s, from the Chicano, the Black Panthers had a faction here that like did a lot of, they always try to shut us down here, but LA don't play, and they're
Mhm,
always going to resist. And
mhm,
what, like, when to the people that feel discouraged about the protests, yes, they do work, because one of the things that I did see is that we were able as a community to stop some ICE raids. We were
mhm.
able to stop some folks from getting arrested. We were
Yeah.
able to document, and some people actually ended up getting a court case and getting asylum,
Sorry, I have
or
to pull my
the
wig up. Sorry,
citizens.
continue. Sorry.
It's
Keep,
okay.
keep going.
And the
Let me pull her
citizens
up.
and the citizens that were arrested, they were able to be released, or journalists that were arrested, they were able to be released because we were vocal, we kept protesting, we kept showing up, we kept
Yeah.
blowing up their phones, we kept like,
Yeah.
so it does work. The
Mhm.
fact that now the National Guard, for the most part, I think, is gone from LA, and we
Yeah.
were able to get that restraining order for the most,
Yeah.
like right now. Any raids that are happening are pretty much illicit. They've always been illegal, but even more so now because there's a restraining order. So they
Right.
shouldn't even be raiding to begin with.
And there's a lawsuit out right now.
Yeah, and
Hmm.
so the fact that folks in businesses or hospitals have been protecting their workers, or been finding ways to let folks escape, or
Hmm.
they've been standing up for people, that tells me a lot. We've been able, so protests do work. And yes, there was a couple of ICE cars, that were blown up, or that were flipped, or that they threw rocks. Like, I'm sorry, but I
But
don't feel,
people are upset. People
yeah,
are
I don't
upset.
feel
And
sorry for them, for the ICE agents that are like, oh my god, we're just doing our job. Yeah, the Nazis said the same thing, and that doesn't make it morally right.
can I ask you a question? I want to ask you, you are a Latina person, you're a
Hmm.
Latina woman. How do you feel? Because this is something I thought about. I was like, this is crazy. The fact that some of the ICE agents are Latino people, right? They're brown people.
Hmm.
How does, if you're comfortable answering this,
Oh, I will
how does that
gladly
make you
respond it.
feel like when you see Christy Nome or or like people like this who Christy Nome doing the whistleblower thing, and then you see ICE
Hmm.
agents who are Latino going
Yeah.
after brown
To
people?
me, it's like selling your soul to the devil because, first of all, I don't know if you've heard about this, but I think there's at least two cases of ICE agents that were already deported. Like they're
Mhm.
planning to use you. They're not, we've already seen that they don't
Wait, they
care.
deported the ICE agent. I'm
Yeah.
sorry for
Hmm.
that. Wait, I'm sorry for laughing. Child.
No,
Wait,
honestly,
so
I
they
laugh.
they used them as an ICE agent and then turned around and deported them too?
Yep. Yep.
Brenda, I'm so
Hmm.
sorry for laughing.
No,
That's
I laugh.
crazy.
I'm like, I don't
That's
feel sorry for you.
crazy.
I don't feel sorry for you because, they did just up the budget, but you really think they want to spend that money? They want to use brown
They're
people, of
using
course,
you
because there's
to do
not
their
just it's
dirty
not
work.
just that there's brown people being ICE agents. There's brown people calling the ICE hotline, and it may be because they got grievances with a certain person, or maybe that business that has certain
Mhm.
immigrants is a competition, so they wanted them out of the way, which is very, very
That's
sad
kind of
that you're
sick.
willing. Yeah, which is really, really sad because I mean there's just no way that they were always at the right place at the a certain time. Like there had to be with like snitches,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
so yeah, like, and to me, I think that's the part that pissed me off the most, the fact that there's brown people trying to be white so bad, and they could say whatever they want and be like, oh, like America. First of all, I've never known America to be great. It's been built with stolen people on stolen land. Like there's nothing, and I mean, I don't care that you're gonna post this in public. I'm gonna say this because I say this all the time. But nothing about
Hmm.
America is their culture. From music,
Hmm.
it's y'all's like jazz, rock, even country.
Hmm.
It's black people.
Hmm.
So to me, it's like there's nothing seasoned or cultured about Americans, particularly white people, because everything's been appropriated. When you think about the way that this country has progressed, agriculture has mostly been brown, Asian, and black people. The
Hmm.
way that the fact that we have trains, that's Chinese people with steel that was fortified by Irish immigrants. So like nothing about America's ever been innovative on their own. It's always been through the
Stealing,
labor, yeah,
killing, taking
stealing
over,
and
using.
exploiting people. So like to
Hmm.
me, yeah, like the fact that people can be like, oh, like we want to make our country great again, or like to me, what I've noticed in a lot of this is that this society has been so selfish and so individualistic that sometimes it's really hard to find true community because it's rare to
Mm.
find people that really care for collective liberation.
Can
Like
you
one of the
repeat
things,
that? That was so beautiful. Can you repeat that?
yeah, like it's true, it's hard to find community because people don't want to fight for collective liberation. Like they're looking out for their own, like for example with the student loan forgiveness, the fact that people can go on the comments and say, well, I had to pay mine. Okay, good for you, but why because you paid, does somebody else that maybe cannot or got exploited have to pay? If there's a path for everybody to, like, and it's not like they're forgiving their entire loan, they're
Hmm.
forgiving a part. I'm like, but the people don't have no issues when Jay-Z got forgiven in millions, Kim Kardashian got forgiven in millions, Elon
Hmm.
Musk doesn't pay taxes and got forgiven in millions, Donald Trump got forgiven for millions. There's a
Wait,
lot
what
of
Jay Z
people
do? Jay
who,
Z didn't pay his taxes.
no, he took out a loan. He's a billionaire
Hmm.
at this point, but he
Right,
took out
right,
a loan and he was forgiven a $2 million loan.
right. Okay,
Like
okay.
you could pay that. You
Right,
know what
right,
I'm
right, right,
saying? But
right.
like people are okay with that. There's
With the
people in
wealthy getting,
Congress,
yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
There's people sitting in Congress that took out hella loans and theirs got forgiven, but they're the first to vote against student loan forgiveness. Like make that make sense.
And see, this is why I be telling black people when we have our indoor conversations, I'm like, I'm gonna need y'all to stop thinking it's a white and black thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are so many people of other. It's a class thing. You brought up how Jay Z got forgiven off of a loan. Jay Z is rich. He's a rich black man, right? But it's a class thing. You get me? It's not always about
Mm-hmm.
the color. I think in this country, it's about money. That's what
Oh
this.
yeah.
It's about capitalism
Money
and
talks. I
money.
mean, that's why Diddy got away with it. I went there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's
And the
true.
moment I
It's
knew that
true.
Diddy got away with it, I knew that Trump was gonna get away with it because Diddy, like Trump, was buddy
Hmm.
buddies with Epstein.
Oh, you're shaking it up. Okay, let's move on.
And let's
You,
not pretend
you
like
said I'm
JC is
shaking it
not
up
up
on
in
your
that, you
show.
know?
You
I
said
know
I
that
am.
we ain't talking about that, but it kind of all goes hand in hand when you think about it.
Well, we could talk about it. We could talk about it
Mm-hmm.
here. There's a lot of stuff. This is a side note from the ice race and stuff. What
Yeah.
do you think about these Epstein files and the stuff going on? Because Trump is, they're saying that the administration is trying to hide the truth or whatever. But it came out. The FBI said that there was nothing else to find about it.
Oh, they're
Like there
BSing
was.
because there's FBI people that are in that list. The thing is, this is not a partisan issue. There's Democrats and Republicans alike in that list. There's
Mm-hmm.
billionaires that benefit from the tax cuts and, from exploiting people that are on that list. It's been proven that the guy that founded Victoria's Secret is on that list. Trump knows
Mm-hmm.
that he was on that list because even before all of these files, like some of it was leaked and
Mm-hmm.
his name appeared, and now they want to act like, oh, we're going to release him. And I honestly, mark my words, that Maxwell chick is either going to be pardoned or she's going to end up dead in order to protect their assets. You
Oh,
know what I mean? I,
yeah.
I'm not wishing that upon her or anything, but like the way that they had a meeting behind closed doors for hours, where like, why are they meeting with the trafficker and not the victims?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
very telling in and of itself,
Like
But again, it all goes to all
it's very
those
tiny.
issues. Again, they were exploiting people sexually. Now
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
wanna, how ironic that now they wanna come really hard on homeless people. They wanna come hard on immigration while they're building detention centers that are gonna create a profit for certain folks. It's not about, that's why they don't want to do a pathway to, a green card or naturalization for folks, because they know that one, they would have to give them, fair wages. They would have to give them benefits.
Right.
Um, and, it's not profitable. But to
Mm-hmm.
put them in detention centers and now say, like, well, if you want your freedom, now you have to work for it, that sounds like modern day slavery to me. You know what I'm saying? We've been knowing that prison labor, same thing. It's the same. Like, so everything does, and like the whole Diddy issue, Epstein issue, does go hand in
You're
hand
like, it
with
does
what's going
connect.
on now, because it all
Yeah.
goes around exploitation, and
And
it's all
I'm
for
glad.
the rich.
And I'm honestly glad that you pointed it out because, on the Stark Effect on this show, I do the whole like celebrity gossip adjacent stuff. But I really hope that people who watch this can see that there are moments where I connect entertainment to politics, or you'll see the
Mm-hmm.
connection, like how you just made the connection of Diddy, Epstein, what's going on in the country. All of this goes hand in hand, and I think a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people who think of like juicy tea, news, gossip,
Mm-hmm.
they don't think that all of these things are intertwined, or they can have a moment of connection, like how you just connected Diddy,
Mm-hmm.
Epstein, and so forth, and how we're having this conversation. So I just wanted to make that connection. I hope I made sense with that. But
Mm-hmm.
there are moments when things do happen in entertainment, where it bleeds into politics, because it kind
Yeah.
of goes hand in hand, especially in this country. I mean, politicians move like entertainers. They have
Yeah.
podcasts now. They have catchphrases. They're like, Trump is selling a Trump watch. He has a shoe line.
A cologne.
My coworker just showed me that he has a shoe line. It looks like Jordans. And they're shoes. And I was laughing so hard because I was like, I didn't know this man had a shoe line. He was like, Khalifa, it's a shoe line. And he went to the website, showed me the Trump watch and the shoes. And I was like, marketing. I'm not saying I support him. I'm just saying marketing genius. I'm like, you better
Well, the thing
capitalize.
is, you got to keep in mind that really highlights the corruption and how
Mhm.
detached and delulu the MAGA people are, and so and I want to throw in liberals in there too,
Yeah.
because Democrats are no different. But
I've
the
heard that
fact that,
AOC, I heard AOC did something problematic recently, but continue.
yeah, yeah, she's another one. That's why I don't, I don't know. Maybe watch how y'all vote for Brenda 2028. No, just kidding. But
And by the
no,
way, as I say this stuff, I'm not trying to trash nobody, y'all. We're just having an honest conversation.
yeah, no,
We're
it's a
having a
kiki.
transparent
But
conversation. I don't know these people in real life. This is a podcast, right?
oh no,
So,
baby, I like to call them how I see them. I have no
oh,
shade problem, no shade. Bring the shade. You know what? That maybe that's why I'm shaded a little bit right here, because I'm ready
oh,
for it. I'm ready for the smoke. But anyway,
oh,
with
Lord
that
have
being
mercy.
said, but with that being said, the thing about that is, like, you gotta keep in mind that when Jimmy Carter, which is one of the last presidents that I truly, truly respect, he had to sell his peanut farm to continue to be president. he did a lot of good stuff while he was president. And on top of that, when he got out, he did Habitat for Humanity, and he dedicated his life for that, you know.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, this guy keeps saying like, "Oh well, I don't take the $400,000 in salary," but he's stealing our taxpayer money as he's like investing in golf courses.
You're talking
He's
about
getting,
Trump?
yeah, Trump.
Oh, okay.
You know, our taxpayer money is paying for his freaking trips to, you know, add another Trump building, another Trump golf course elsewhere. He's
Hmm.
selling phones. He's selling his own form of freaking Bitcoin. He's selling
Hmm.
Bibles, which I like for the life of me can't as a Christian myself,
Not
can't
selling
understand how
Bibles, child.
anybody doesn't see that as heresy. And then he's selling cologne, which I'm pretty sure smells like shit if it smells like him, you
Let's
know.
move on to the. Okay.
But
Well,
you know,
thank you. No, thank you for being honest with your answers and dragging and shade. Um, My next question, see, I think you answered this a little bit early.
hmm
You answered it earlier, but I'm going to ask it one more time just to see if there's anything else you want us to say. So, back to the race. Let's gear the conversation back to the race. These race and enforcement policies aren't just political, they're deeply personal. Can you
hmm
share how this moment has affected you personally, whether as a community leader, a Latina, or someone who's worked closely with impacted communities? I know you touched a lot on this earlier, but is there
hmm
anything else?
yeah, I just want to say that it's really made me want to step up for the community even more. And it's really, I think now more than ever is when I think I'm really starting to grasp what true community means and
Hmm.
what it means to actually be a person, to stand up for community. Because a lot of like, don't get me wrong, like it's cool to share posts, it's cool to share resources, but it's a
Hmm.
different level when you actually show up to protest. It's a different level when you actually, you know, buy stuff for a community member that can't go out. It's a different thing when
Hmm.
you personally go and deliver um, these resources, when you take the time out of your day to, you know, educate folks on the rights, when you take the time out of your day to call, you know, whether it's city officials, state officials, you know,
Hmm.
um, federal officials, whatever, what have you, to make a public statement, to advocate,
Hmm.
to actually record, you know, when these ICE raids are happening, to stand up to them and call them out on their BS, because a lot of these people are not even ICE agents; they're bounty hunters, you know.
It's
And
like a witch hunt. I remember I told one of
yeah,
my friends in my family who was saying some ignorant stuff. I was like, this is a witch hunt. I remember I saw
mhm,
an ABC video. They were at the Oxnard Farms.
mhm,
The ICE agents were there. It was on a Tuesday morning. This was like, it was in June. But they were at a
mhm,
farm. In the video, you saw the ICE agents chasing Latino people through the farm.
mhm,
And it, it literally, I was like, what in the, like, I was watching it. I'm like, this is like a witch. Like, this is like some different level type. And I
mhm.
sent her the video and I was like, see, this is why you cannot sit up here and say dumb shit like this. Sorry for cussing on my
Yeah.
show, but I was like, this is blatantly racist. It is,
Mhm,
and it's not explicitly like a black thing, right? It's not our
mhm,
space to like take that. You get me? But this is an ongoing witch hunt. When I saw that video, it literally looked like something out of a movie. It was crazy, and I was like,
mhm,
this is really what's happening. Like I
mhm.
was just like shocked seeing this on the news, and I'm like,
Yeah. And
this
I
is
do want to add a
real.
thing, I guess, on the
This
personal
is a real
level.
thing.
You know, aside from seeing that which is traumatizing, one of the things I really do you know, appreciate folks that advocate for the Latino community that are not Latino, you know, just for any immigrant in general. But one of the
Mhm.
things that I was seeing a lot as people were advocating was just kind of highlighting the labor we bring, you know.
Mhm.
We're the, because it's true, we feed most of America. We have a lot
Literally.
of people, nurses. We do a lot of the nanny, you know, nannies are Latina. A lot of the cleaning is
Mhm.
Latino, mechanics, what have you, truckers. You know, like there is a lot of labor, but we're more than that. Like we deserve the respect, not just for like the work that we can do, whether it's construction or whatever industry,
Mhm.
because we do it efficiently, because we're more than effective workers. We are community members, we're your neighbors, we are humans, we are people that deserve dignity whether we bring labor or not, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
So as much as I do like that they're highlighting like the importance that we have, like I don't want us to, like I don't want people to limit the Latino community to just labor, because we do have doctors, we do have people that are in politics, we do have
Lawyers.
people,
Yeah.
lawyers, just like the same thing with the Black community. What I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You're more than just athletes and rappers and
And
celebrities or what
singers
have
and
you.
yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
so to me, like, I it's like you can highlight that, but ensure that you always put the humanity at the forefront.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the things that capitalism does effectively is this like push for grind and hustle culture, and like
Mm-hmm.
really exploiting people and pushing people to the brink, while the people that are saying like, oh, it's because people don't work and this and that are the ones not working. They're the ones freaking in yachts and doing what have you, because other people are making money for them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, I think that was one of the things that I did want to like point out and highlight, and I think it's really made me appreciate my culture and my people a lot more beyond just like the labor that we bring. Like I've really seen how people have stepped out for one another, and how people have, like we've had teenagers that have taken their parents, stand, whether it's selling elotes, tamales, what have you, so
Mm-hmm.
that their parents don't come out, you know
Right.
and so like to me, just seeing how people have been like, well, this shouldn't be happening, people in the community like offering to be like, you know what, I'm a citizen, I will take the stand for you, and I will give you your money at the end of the day, and I'll even add to it, sharing on social media to have folks buy out so that they don't have to be there. Like
Mm-hmm.
those are the things
That matter.
that matter. And so, I know, one of the things, that people are probably thinking, especially if you're not Latinos, like, how can we help? What can we do? Honestly, support businesses. Right now, downtown LA is suffering.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm taking a little bit personal because the Mayan is my place. I've
Oh
been going there
yeah.
since
I
I
saw
was
that they're
18,
closing down September
and they're
13th.
gonna
Right?
close down because honestly, this last curfew that was imposed really
Her
did a number
business.
in hurt businesses, and the raids and stuff like that have hurt the Flower District, have hurt
Mhm.
the Santee Alley. So I would say, if you want to support, aside from continuing to engage on social media and
That was
sharing
actually my
whatever you
last
can.
question. Yes, that was my
Oh,
last
okay.
question. Really quickly before you get to it, how
Mhm.
can people take actionable steps and support? Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so if there's a protest, continue to join if you can.
Mhm.
If whatever you come across on social media, whether it's, especially if it's in your own neighborhood, if you're seeing like an ICE raid is being reported, share that story. If you're outside and you see that, documented, recorded,
Mhm.
and posted.
Yeah.
Wherever you see like ICE sightings, post that. If you come about like any organization that has legal resources or is actually looking to help vendors, do that. I know that all of us are kind of struggling financially right now, but
Mhm.
wherever you can donate to mutual aid, or if you know your local vendor, like, support them, eat from the the lady in the corner or whatever over like a chain restaurant.
That's what I do.
And
I be going directly to the restaurants. I'm like, I get some food. You know what I mean?
yes,
I go to the even to buy my products because black
yeah,
people, some black people, most of us are still boycotting Target. So I don't go to
yeah.
Target, child, but I'll go
Yeah,
to
support
like
the local markets,
I
the
support the local
supermarkets,
markets.
the
I buy
ethnic
all my
ones.
products there. I buy my toilet
Thank
paper,
you.
my
I
soaps.
appreciate
Yeah,
that.
like I really try to
Definitely.
put my money where my mouth is, although I'm broke, child, and I'm poor myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's like, and but most of those are like a little bit cheaper too. And also, I would say, if you actually have a day off and you want to do some shopping, like, there's like, I'm a flower girl, so whenever I can, it really breaks my heart because I really do love the flower district. I'm
Hmm.
actually hoping to move there next year. But like right now, it's really sad because there's been a lot of businesses that haven't been able to sell flowers. So if you can and you have a day off and you can make it, because like beautiful bouquets, and they're cheaper than what you would get in like any of like the 1-800 flowers or
Or
whatever
like a
anyway.
supermarket or something.
Or
Yeah.
go to the Santee Alley. They, yeah, maybe some things are knockoffs, but some, like, let's not pretend we don't buy knockoffs from like certain stores too, So I think like
Right.
supporting those local businesses and showing solidarity, I think is the best thing. And if you have a neighbor, like one of the things, particularly with elderly people or
Mhm.
moms, single moms that I know like they're having a hard time, like I will offer, you know, to get their Instacart or whatever.
Mhm.
And oftentimes, like those people will be like, "No, I'll pay you," but like if you can't like get the bill, at least be able to do it for them and have them pay you. But like don't like protect each other by allowing them to stay home instead of going outside. Like I
Mhm.
think this is the moment where we really get to not only like I feel like the only way you're gonna build community is being a proactive community member yourself.
Mm.
So yeah, like that's pretty
Yeah.
much what we can do, as a
Thank
community.
No, thank you for saying that because tonight it made me think of a friend because it was a you know who Jewel Thais is? She was the owner of the Catch One Club. She died a few weeks ago.
Yes,
Catch One
yes,
on
yes.
Pico. They're actually having her celebration tonight, and I couldn't go because like we already had this planned and stuff, and I was
Mhm.
like I got to do this. I'm committed to this. So I kind of felt bad because I was like, "Ooh, I want to be there," but I did go to. She had a vigil. I didn't
Mhm.
go to the actual vigil, but I went after, and I went two
Mhm.
weeks ago, and I just stood there and had a moment and showed up that way, right? So,
Mhm.
also to thank you for saying like being active in the community because I think honestly that's all that we really have. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I it's interesting because even me, I think we have to navigate through our own fears, right? We have
Mhm.
to get through that, and we just have to do what we can. Like I always tell people, I'm like, okay, well, if you can't do everything, and if you're not going through a process, do what you can. There's other things that you can do that are actively helping.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect. Nobody's the perfect activist or the perfect because I have other friends in my life who are always like, "Oh, those people are just performative. It's all performative," because activists of today are, get more light and stuff like that. You get
Mhm.
me? So there are some people who are just bitter, right? But I
Yeah.
think that you can't forget about the just seeing the cause for what it is, seeing the community for what it is, and
Mhm.
figuring out how we're going to show up and if we're going to do that and believing in it when we do it.
Yeah. 100%. I think it's just a matter of always like being like moving in solidarity, moving in love.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
we have to realize, and I think one of the things that helps me because there is so many struggles going on right now
At the
simultaneously
same time, I be getting
at the same
tired,
time.
Brenda. I be
Yeah.
like, oh my God.
They trying to wear
I'm
us
like,
out.
every day it's everybody. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I
Like,
try to pick and choose, I try to dedicate a moment to each one, but one of the things that helps me stay grounded, at least within my own heart and like in this work, is not comparing struggles, not making one struggle bigger than the other. We're all being crushed under capitalism. We're all being oppressed one way or another. So I don't put like as much as, right now obviously we're here in LA and the Latino, struggle is, evident in my front
right,
yard.
right,
But
and
that
yep.
doesn't mean that I've ignored what's going on in Sudan, in Congo, in Gaza.
Hmm.
Like I'm not. I still continue to share videos when I see, black folks face
Hmm.
police brutality.
Hmm.
And continue to raise that awareness. So yeah, like it was the same thing when there was the Asian hate. I would call that out.
Yeah.
So I just think being able to stay grounded and also again like because there's so much going on, it's very easy to feel guilty when we get these moments of joy or when we get to enjoy something. The way I see it, like yesterday we had a cookout. My best friend was in town, and we
Hmm.
had a cookout at my brother's rooftop. And as I was seeing the spread, I just, because earlier in the day I had seen like 6 different kids from Gaza that were shown that died of starvation. And so in
Hmm.
that moment, I took time to like be grateful for the food I'm about to eat, but also pray like God continue to provide and give us guidance in seeing how we can still support that, because any aid that's being sent is obviously not making its way. So like, always having that mindset and don't
But see
feel
that
guilty.
that's what hurts me too, because I often question. I'm like, are they actually getting the money? Like,
Yeah.
what is going on? Because this. These are what I'm saying. Continue. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah, but yeah, like, just remember that joy is also an act of resistance. Like don't feel guilty for enjoying your life, but also be conscious of the privilege and like the honor you have at that moment to be able to have that moment, because not everybody
Mhm.
is having that. So I think, as much as we're like, that's what helps me mentally, like as much as I am putting energy into providing resources and being an activist, I also try to put energy into doing the things that I love for the simplicity of just being something that I love to do, because that's also resistance. Like, I'm not gonna let them rob me of my joy or rob me of the things that
Mm,
I love to do
yeah.
because they're trying to crush us, you know? So I try to find a balance with everything. So I would say, yeah, like, be supportive and build community, but also now more than ever, do the things that you love to do for you.
Mm. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. And
Hmm.
thank you for being so transparent and vulnerable with your responses and being real about it, because it's a lot going on. And I think that we are all trying to figure it out. We trying
Yeah.
to be safe. We trying to still thrive. We're trying to do the right thing. We're trying
Hmm.
to figure out, because I feel like we don't know what's coming next. Like the way things is going, we don't know what's gonna happen. We already done saw COVID. It's just like it just these last like I would say 5, 6 years have just been so crazy and things have always happened in our world, right?
Hmm.
This is not the first time, we've seen like these historical things, these traumatic things happen that are a part of history, right? This is the
Hmm.
country that we live in, right? So it's not that it hasn't happened before, but it just feels like recently, these last 6 years, it's just been like thing after thing after thing after. It's just
Hmm.
like, oh my God, like, when are we gonna catch a break? Even as millennials, I'm like, girl, what we gonna do when we 60, 70? Like, like these are the things I think about as I'm
Yeah.
sitting here watching Real Housewives and Basketball Wives. Like as I'm sitting here distracting myself. You know what I
You
mean?
know,
To get
sometimes,
through
Sophie, I'm
it.
like, maybe I will watch trash TV because it can't be any trashier than what's reality right now.
Isn't it crazy? No, for real. It feels like it's the same thing.
Yeah, yeah.
It really
I,
feels. I hope I'm making sense as I say that,
No,
but.
yeah, you are. And one of the things I do want to say, at least for like the LA folks that are watching this, like, if a literal fire couldn't burn our courage and our sense of community down, we cannot let ice that we can literally melt burn us down either. Like, resistance will always be key, community will always be key. And I think one of the things that I've seen more now than ever is that nobody got us like we got us. Like, it's always going to be community at the forefront, because we saw this when the fires happened. The city wasn't there, the state wasn't there. We had each other, and then they wanted to show up after. Even the teams that we support. I'm a sports girl through and through, but I'm cutting off the Dodgers. I could care less
Mm,
about the Rams, you know what I mean? Because it's like, we give you the fan base you need, we give you the
mm.
revenue, and for you not to show up and wait, like, especially when they have billions of dollars,
Didn't they
like,
come back and clear that up though? They came back and took a
it
stance.
was very, very disingenuous, if I'm being
Mm-hmm.
honest. Like, I've been going to the Dodgers Salvi night for, like, I think the past 3, 4 years. I'm not going this year. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, no, I can't stand by that. I don't like fake. It's kind of like what it came off as is like the person that continues to punch you, be like, okay, I was sorry, but then they still kind of
Do a little shade or do a
like
little
making, like,
something.
yeah, like a little, like, okay, I said sorry, but like, I don't know why they were making a big deal. Like, that's what it comes off as. So
Yeah.
for me, it's like, no, because if you really cared and like, you would have done it from the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like, just know that nobody has us like we have us, and keep pushing it that way, because no, now more than ever, I'm like, yeah, we can't trust all politicians. I'm not saying all of them are bad. I have a senator that's a friend of mine that's doing great things. I also know, at least one city council member or two that are actually doing good things.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it takes more than that, and it's a community. They even stress it themselves, like, just keep pushing community, because they're
Yeah.
like, even me, my voice in 15 voices,
It's
gets
not
drowned
enough.
out. But like, they do their best by highlighting and exposing the truth. So I
Yeah.
think, keeping that in mind, like, just remember
Uh,
that we all share the same struggle, and you know,
and one of the last things as we wrap up here, because it's been about an hour, I know we got to let you enjoy
Mhm.
your Sunday. I actually interviewed for my job, not for Stark Effect, you guys, because people keep thinking that my job and Stark Effect is the same thing. And I'm having to say
Yeah,
it's not the same, you guys. It's two different. Because I don't want to make another Instagram. I don't want to make a separate thing for my
yeah.
podcast. So I just
Hmm.
don't want to do it because I'm not that big yet. I'm a small
Hmm.
little choo choo. But no, I interviewed a politician recently. I'm not going to say who, but one of the things that she said was that we have to stay informed and we cannot. Because one of the questions I asked her, I was like, "What are your thoughts about people who don't trust politicians? Because a lot of people don't trust y'all. What are
Hmm.
your thoughts about that?" And she was like, "Hey, well, you still have to participate in the society. You can't just turn around and say I don't trust you because I don't trust politicians. You have to research who we are. You have to do the work." She was like, I
Hmm.
think sometimes people they put too much into government and they don't realize that they're a part of the community and they also have to
Hmm.
participate and get their own knowledge. She was like, we do our
Yeah.
part. We show up as politicians. So she was like, I'm not saying all of us are perfect, but she was like, it's up to you to see what we're actually
Hmm.
doing and make
Yeah,
sure
because
you're
it's a
getting the
government
facts.
by the people for the people.
And that's what
So
she
we
said.
do
She
have
was
to
like, at the
stay
end of the day,
civically
we exist.
engaged.
That's
Hmm.
what she said. She was like,
I
we
do
do
agree with
it.
that part for
Hmm.
sure. I
Yeah. So
just
she was like,
hope that politicians know that, okay, when people are calling you, sending
hmm,
you postcards, going to visit you to tell you something, stand on 10 toes on what the people are telling you to
right,
vote
right, right,
about,
right,
to
right,
be about,
right,
like,
right.
so it's definitely transactional in some ways. Like it
Like
goes both ways. Like we
it's
need
two
to stay
sides of the
civically
coin.
engaged, but they
Hmm.
also need to really show up for the people that they're representing and for their
Right.
constituency.
Yes. No, I agree.
Hmm.
Well, any final words? Because I know we gotta go here. This has been fun. I appreciate it. Any like last words you want to leave? The Stark Effect. I'm gonna put this on YouTube. I'm gonna figure it out. I've never
Hmm.
downloaded an Instagram video, so I'm gonna figure it out, y'all. Okay, we're gonna figure this out. And I know it's
Yeah.
long, but I want to tell the people who watch the playback. I hope you watch the whole thing. Just
Hmm.
always tell them play it in the background. Because if I was more popular, y'all would sit and watch the whole thing. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So I'm telling them, I'm like, play this, okay? But I'm gonna put this on my YouTube. But yes, that's you.
I think the last thing I would say is just, stay informed, stay engaged, and stay proactive. Build community, because I know that this society pushes us, like, I don't know, people this, or like, to do for your own, but nothing is more fulfilling than actually being in true community, because individual freedom is not going to get you anywhere the way that collective freedom will.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much. It has been a pleasure having you. Where's the
Likewise.
cat? Before we go, can I see it's pronounced Cassian, correct?
Cassian, yeah,
Sorry,
he's
Cassian.
actually sleeping right behind me.
He's asleep. Oh, now he wanna be asleep. He didn't even get up this whole time. Such a big
I don't
baby.
know. I thought that he came a little bit like at the beginning, but he didn't get on the camera. He was just on top of my door.
Oh,
He's
I
just.
wish we could have saw him. Brenda
I
has a
could
cat.
hold on. Let me see if y'all could
Well,
see him.
well, let's not wake him up. But
You see
that's
him?
my nephew, y'all. Wait, do we see him? I can't see.
Oh,
I
hold
didn't
on.
I
Let
didn't
me
get to
see.
see. Hold on. Y'all know I got glasses and eyelashes on, child. It's a mess.
I don't know if you can see him now.
Oh, he's so cute. Oh, he knocked out.
He knocked out, knocked out. So
Oh.
yeah,
Well, congratulations on being a new kitty mom.
yes, I do love it here. Not gonna lie.
Well, I'm so happy for you, and let's connect soon. Outside of this, I do want
Yeah,
to
of
see you
course,
soon. I haven't seen you in a while, so we gotta hang out.
for
Because me and
sure.
Jessica, we ran the streets last weekend.
I saw that. I saw that. So we
We
definitely
ran
gotta
the
go get
streets.
together again, get the girls back together, find
Yes,
a summer bash or something.
we need to. Because
Hmm.
summer's been hard, but I've been also trying to have fun. I'm like, girl, we still gotta make this work because it's been
Yeah,
tough. But I'm
yeah.
like, we still gotta live life,
Like I
okay?
said, we can't cut the joy. We can't cut the joy. We still gotta
Right.
do it.
Yes. All right. Well, I'm gonna check out here, and I will figure out how to post this. And when I do, I hope you share it. I hope y'all share it, and I hope y'all like it. And it's been really fun having this transparent conversation. So I really appreciate your time. I always tell people this, and I hope y'all believe. I tell all my friends, I appreciate the time that you give
Hmm.
me because time is not promised. Okay. So whenever we have these moments to like connect and like talk and be together. It's genuinely something because I know we can't talk every day, but
Yeah.
it's really something that I appreciate. And I also appreciate you educating the Stark Effect watchers about the reality of this particular
Hmm.
situation in LA with ICE and everything and how it's affecting your community.
Yeah, of course.
So
Thank you for having me and just giving this a platform to begin with. So
thank
yeah.
you. We the little choo choo that can. So
True, true. Hey,
all
a
right.
little bit is something, you know.
It is.
So
All right. We'll talk soon. And I'm gonna hit you up and we gonna hang out. Thank
All right,
you.
for sure. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.